When it's a million, then they can just be a sort of little self-serving blob in the middle. You throw into that this sort of mad critical race theory, which has told everyone that white people are evil and you're the victim. And I think that's the thing with so-called multiculturalism or immigration. It's like Hooke's law of elasticity. When it's a certain amount, it works. When you push it to it being a nation split one-third, one-third, one-third. Shall we speak to Jane, who's in West Yorkshire? Hello there, Jane.
Good morning.
Thank you for your patience. We've had you waiting a long time, haven't we? So thank you so much for holding on for us, Jane.
People have always moved to new places, but what happens when too many arrive at once? Does it bring people together or create division? Should hardworking citizens struggle while newcomers get immediate help? And if resources are limited, who should come first? These tough questions fuel a debate that isn't going away anytime soon. When small numbers of people move to a new country, they often mix well into local communities. But what happens when the numbers grow? This is the debate that many are having today. Some argue that when migration reaches a certain level, it leads to isolated communities that don't fully integrate. If a few families move in, they blend in. If thousands arrive, they form their own groups. And if it's a million, they could create their own self-contained society. The concern is that this could lead to a lack of unity, with people identifying more with their ethnic or religious groups rather than the country they live in. Some believe that certain ideologies have made integration harder. There's this idea being pushed that certain groups are always the victims and others are always the oppressors. This mindset creates division instead of unity. Social media also plays a huge role. In the past, you were from a town, a city, or a country. Now people connect with others worldwide based on beliefs, race, or ideology. This makes society more fragmented, with people sticking to their own tribes. Now let's talk about a shocking claim regarding benefit fraud. I was speaking to someone working in homelessness services, and they told me about a man who claimed he didn't speak English. But guess what? He had a full UK driver's license. The question is, how did he pass the written test if he didn't understand English? When questioned, his friend admitted that claiming not to speak English can sometimes get people better services. This raises concerns about whether some are exploiting the system. And another unbelievable claim has surfaced regarding disability benefits. A doctor told me that some people have figured out a way to cheat the system. They go into GP surgeries and deliberately soil themselves. Why? Because certain conditions, such as incontinence, qualify for disability benefits. Can you believe that? People are actually messing themselves on purpose to get free money. This has left many questioning how such fraud can even happen. Some say the problem started years ago when raising concerns about immigration was seen as politically incorrect. Under the Blair and Brown governments, if you even mentioned immigration, you were labeled a racist. This led to policies that some believe have made it easier for people to take advantage of the system. We've been too fair, too tolerant, and now look where we are. People are scamming the system, refusing to integrate, and even bad-mouthing the very country that gives them free benefits. A major issue some people point out is the growing negativity towards Britain. The younger generations are being taught that Britain isn't a great place, that its history is shameful, and that they shouldn't be proud of it. This mindset, mixed with unchecked migration and benefit fraud, has led to a society where some take from the system without giving back. It's one thing to need help, but it's another thing to scam the country while looking down on it. For far too long, the Western world has dominated global affairs, shaping policies, and controlling the direction of political and economic systems. But is it time for a change? Many argue that the balance of power needs to shift. The West has been in control for too long, and it's time for a more balanced approach, one speaker recently expressed. This sentiment is growing, and with it, the debate about fairness, responsibilities, and national priorities. Among the most controversial topics in this discussion is immigration, particularly illegal immigration, and its impact on housing and social services. The housing crisis has reached an all-time high, yet people who have lived in the country for years are struggling to secure stable accommodation, while new arrivals seem to have more immediate access to resources. One man told me last week, "Surely I shouldn't have to pay rent and buy my own food, should I?" a caseworker shared. This statement left many stunned. In a system where hardworking individuals struggle to make ends meet, why are some newcomers expecting full support? I wanted to respond bluntly, the caseworker continued, but I held back. I simply thought, welcome to the UK. The sense of frustration is undeniable. Many frontline workers in homelessness services have noticed a major shift. "I feel like we're running a refugee service, not a homelessness service anymore," a veteran worker of 20 years admitted. "The issue isn't about denying help to those in need. It's about ensuring that aid reaches those who have already been part of the system, paying taxes and contributing to the country's economy. Every other person coming in needs an interpreter. I understand language barriers, but if someone has been here for a decade, surely they should be able to communicate in English. The strain on resources is overwhelming. We have homeless veterans. We have people with mental health issues, people who have genuinely fallen on hard times, and yet they are the ones being pushed to the back of the queue. The frustration is palpable. It's not our job to house the entire world while our own citizens sleep on the streets." The COVID-19 pandemic exposed glaring inconsistencies in the way homelessness and migration were handled. During the pandemic, we suddenly found a way to put homeless people, our own people, into hotels to prevent the virus from spreading. But once the emergency was over, they were kicked out and told to fend for themselves again. Meanwhile, migrants were placed in accommodations, receiving food and shelter. How is that fair? Many have questioned why, when solutions were found so quickly for some, they could not be made permanent for all. If we can house people during an emergency, why can't we provide lasting solutions for those who were struggling long before the pandemic hit? The inconsistency is difficult to justify. Despite the frustration, there are moments that remind us why this work is important. I was in my local supermarket when a man stopped me. "Jane, is that you?" And I was shocked. He went on to tell me, "Thanks to you, my life is completely different now. I have 2 jobs, I have a home, and I'm never going back to prison." These are the success stories that prove that rehabilitation works when given the proper resources and attention. "You never judged me," the man said. That's what made the difference. It was an emotional moment reinforcing the belief that society has a duty to help its own. A civilized country takes care of those who have lost their way. It offers rehabilitation, support, and a second chance to become productive members of society. But how can we do that when our resources are stretched too thin, catering to everyone but our own? One major issue is the lack of a strong deterrent against illegal immigration. If there are no consequences for entering a country illegally, more and more people will do it. The proposed Rwanda policy was meant to be a deterrent, sending illegal migrants to Rwanda for processing. People say there were flaws in the policy, and maybe there were, but without any deterrent at all, what's stopping thousands more from coming? The lack of a system to track who is entering the country is also alarming. People arrive, throw their passports into the sea, and then claim asylum. Without identification, we have no idea who they are, what their background is, or whether they pose a risk. Unless something changes, the situation will only worsen. More and more people will continue arriving, expecting full support, while our own homeless population is left with nothing. The message is clear. A fair and balanced system must prioritize its own people while maintaining a structured, lawful approach to migration. We must ask ourselves, how can we continue this way? How can we justify neglecting those who have contributed to the country in favor of those who have just arrived? Until a real solution is found, frustration will continue to grow, and the cracks in the system will become even more evident. So, what are your views on this? Do let us know in the comments section below. And for more such amazing videos, please do subscribe to our channel.